Have you ever assumed that putting a newborn baby in its own crib, in its own space, from its first night home, was simply what responsible parents did? If you grew up in the United States, the United Kingdom, or Australia, that assumption was probably never questioned in your household or your pediatric appointments. In Japan, South Korea, across most of Southeast Asia, across most of Sub-Saharan Africa, and across most of Latin America, a baby sleeping alone in a separate crib is considered the unusual arrangement, sometimes even an unsettling one. Two genuinely different systems, both followed by parents acting on the best available guidance in their respective contexts, producing a complete cultural split on one of the most basic aspects of early infant care. But here's the surprising truth. The Western guidance recommending separate infant sleep is considerably more recent than most people assume, and the research underpinning that guidance, while real, applies most directly to specific Western co-sleeping conditions that do not accurately describe how most of the world actually co-sleeps. The debate between these two approaches is far more genuinely contested within academic research than either set of official guidelines tends to acknowledge. The separate sleep recommendation in the United States solidified from the 1990s onward, driven by data linking shared sleep surfaces to sudden infant death syndrome. That data was real. The risk factors most strongly associated with co-sleeping related infant deaths, however, included alcohol consumption by the sleeping adult, extremely soft surfaces such as sofas and waterbeds, parental smoking, and significant adult obesity. These conditions characterize a substantial proportion of the co-sleeping related deaths in the datasets that generated the Western guidelines, and they do not describe how breastfeeding, sober, non-smoking parents co-sleep on a firm mattress. Japan has one of the highest rates of routine infant co-sleeping of any industrialized country, and one of the lowest rates of sudden infant death syndrome in the world. A combination the risk factor-focused framing of Western guidelines struggles to account for. Researcher James McKenna at the University of Notre Dame, who has spent decades studying the combination of breastfeeding and co-sleeping practiced by most of the world's mothers, argues that the physiological synchrony between a breastfeeding mother and her infant may actively provide protection when the specific high-risk factors are absent. Think of it like studying the dangers of swimming by examining only drowning statistics from pools where alcohol consumption was present, and then extrapolating those findings to all swimming in all conditions everywhere. The data is real, and the risk it identifies is genuine. But the conclusion it produces does not necessarily describe every context it gets applied to. Official bodies, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, maintain their separate sleep recommendations, specifically because clear guidance reduces risk in populations where the high-risk co-sleeping conditions are common and difficult to reliably screen for at the population level. UNICEF in the United Kingdom has moved toward guidance that acknowledges the complexity more explicitly, describing conditions under which co-sleeping risk is substantially reduced rather than treating all co-sleeping as equivalent. So, the next time you hear the crib recommendation framed as the obvious, settled, universally correct answer to where a baby should sleep, you will know the picture is considerably more complicated than that framing suggests. Both systems have real evidence behind them. Both have real risk profiles attached to them, and the gap between them reflects genuinely different interpretations of genuinely contested research, not simply tradition on one side and science on the other. Parents navigating this question for their own families are best served by discussing their specific situation with their own healthcare provider, who can account for the context the population-level statistics cannot.